Ladies and gentlemen, listen up, because this is the truth. There's a version of yourself, one that you might not even like to acknowledge, that is the only thing standing between you and the life you truly want to live. That weak version of you, the one that hits snooze instead of rising to the challenge, the one that makes excuses instead of taking decisive action, is a dangerous impediment. It's the very force that will sabotage every dream, every goal, and every opportunity if you don't put an end to it now. Today, I'm here to tell you that you are not that person. You are far greater than that. Today, we are going to confront and eliminate that weak, self-sabotaging version of yourself once and for all, and in its place, rebuild the disciplined, unstoppable, and fearless version that has been waiting inside you all along. Let's begin with the painful truth. Transformation starts with acknowledging your weaknesses. Most people shy away from this brutal self-examination because it is uncomfortable. They'd rather distract themselves with excuses, blame external circumstances, or procrastinate until the problem somehow disappears. But if you are truly serious about change, you must have the courage to look in the mirror and confront the aspects of yourself that are holding you back. Not only the overt shortcomings, laziness, a lack of discipline, or a tendency to procrastinate, but also the subtle, insidious habits that prevent you from seizing life's opportunities. These habits are not inherent traits, they are learned behaviors, patterns of thought and action that you can unlearn if you have the resolve to do so. Consider for a moment the excuses you make. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'm just not that kind of person. These aren't facts. They are stories you've told yourself repeatedly, stories that have gradually become your reality. You were not born undisciplined, you were not born afraid, and you were certainly not born with the habit of quitting when faced with difficulty. These weaknesses have been built up over time, layer by layer, with every excuse you allowed to stand in your way. And here's the key: every excuse you make is a decision to remain weak. Now, let me ask you, are you willing to continue this pattern, or are you ready to make a definitive choice to stop negotiating with your own excuses? The first step in transforming your life is to pinpoint and list your weaknesses with absolute clarity. Write them down. Name them, speak them out loud. Is it procrastination? Is it a crippling fear of failure? Perhaps it's the habit of avoiding those difficult conversations that could lead to growth. The more precisely you define these weaknesses, the more effectively you can attack them. Remember, clarity is power. Once you have identified these weaknesses, the next step is to confront them directly. This is not a task for the faint of heart. It requires doing precisely the opposite of what these weaknesses dictate. If procrastination is your enemy, force yourself into immediate action. If self-doubt paralyzes you, put yourself in circumstances where you have no alternative but to trust in your own abilities. If inconsistency is holding you back, create a structured plan and commit to it with unwavering determination. It is through this deliberate confrontation that you begin to dismantle the habits that have long kept you in stasis. The process of confronting your weaknesses is, by its very nature, uncomfortable. It will push you to the very edge of your perceived limits. But it is precisely in that space, at the edge of discomfort, that true growth occurs. You must be willing to experience the fire, to struggle, to fail, and then to rise again even stronger than before. Growth is not a product of comfort. It is forged in the crucible of challenge and adversity. I want to stress an important point here. Excuses are the silent killers of progress. They are the insidious little voices that convince you that it's acceptable to remain exactly as you are. They tell you that tomorrow is always a better day to begin, that you'll start when conditions are perfect. But let me remind you, conditions will rarely, if ever, be perfect. Success does not wait for the stars to align. It is built by those who take action regardless of circumstances. Each time you say, I don't have time, deep down you are admitting that your priorities are not aligned with the life you want to lead. And each excuse you make reinforces the habits that keep you confined to mediocrity. It is crucial then to replace those excuses with a mindset of discipline. Discipline is not about being harsh or unyielding with yourself. It is about committing to a set of standards that will elevate your life. It is about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the bridge that carries you from where you are to where you want to be. It transforms fleeting motivation into lasting progress. While motivation is unreliable, fickle, and transient, discipline is a consistent, deliberate practice that, over time, reshapes your very identity. Now, let's talk about the role of pain and discomfort in this journey. Pain is inevitable. In fact, pain is one of the greatest teachers in life. It forces you to confront your limitations, to adapt, and to grow. Most people run from pain because it is uncomfortable. They seek the path of least resistance, even though that path leads only to stagnation. But if you want to become the person you are meant to be, you must be willing to endure that pain. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it fuel your transformation. When you experience discomfort, whether in the gym, at work, or in your personal life, it is a signal that you are pushing beyond your current limits and expanding your capacity for greatness. The transformation process also involves reprogramming your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If your mind is filled with limiting beliefs, if you constantly tell yourself that success is hard, that life is unfair, or that you are not capable, then you will find evidence to support those beliefs. Instead, you must cultivate thoughts that empower you, that affirm your strength and potential. Every time you catch yourself thinking a weak thought, immediately replace it with a thought of strength and possibility. Train your mind to operate from a place of resilience rather than from a state of fear and self-doubt. An essential part of this reprogramming is the environment you choose to surround yourself with. The people with whom you associate play a critical role in shaping your mindset and habits. If you are constantly around individuals who make excuses, who complain, or who accept mediocrity, then it is inevitable that you will adopt the same patterns. Seek out those who challenge you, who demand excellence, and who inspire you to be better. Surround yourself with mentors, books, podcasts, and communities that reinforce the discipline. Resilient mindset you are striving to build. Understand that rebuilding yourself is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process. It requires daily commitment and relentless perseverance. Every day, you face a choice. Will you succumb to your old habits and excuses, or will you choose to act with discipline and courage? The version of you that has been waiting to emerge is not defined by your past failures, but by your willingness to embrace change and to push through the inevitable discomfort of growth. In closing, I want to leave you with this powerful thought: the weak version of yourself that you see today is not an immutable part of who you are. It is a collection of habits and beliefs that you have cultivated over time. But just as these habits were learned, they can be unlearned. You have the power to kill the weak version of yourself, to eradicate the excuses that have held you back, and to rebuild a stronger, more disciplined, and unstoppable version of who you are meant to be. The journey will not be easy. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when the old habits seem insurmountable, and when the temptation to retreat into comfort is overwhelming. But remember this: nothing worth achieving ever comes without struggle. Every moment of discomfort, every setback, every failure is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to emerge even stronger than before. Now is the moment to decide. Will you continue to live as you have, letting the weak version of yourself dictate your actions? Or will you stand up, confront your limitations, and commit to a life of discipline, resilience, and growth? The choice is yours, and it is the most important decision you will ever make. So rise up, take control of your life, stop negotiating with your excuses, and begin the work of transforming yourself into the person you were always meant to be. Embrace the pain, harness the power of discipline, and surround yourself with those who push you toward greatness. Because in the end, you are always one decision away from changing your life forever. Thank you.